figured I would show y'all my car. So I got her, well, technically I paid for her back in like August, but I pretty much like really got her in September. So this is her. This is Lisa. Everybody say hi, Lisa. Hi, Lisa. Anyway, so let's wait for this car to pass. Let me open her up. So this is her. All right. So this is Lisa. Please don't mind some of the dirt because she is a little dirty. I gotta get her clean, but let's chit chat. Okay, so hey y'all. So basically, this is Lisa. She is a 2010 Nissan Sentra. She my baby. So she is my first car, technically. You know, like at one point I was supposed to have a car. I kind of had a car, but it wasn't necessarily essentially mine. But this is like my car, like my first actual car. So I got her from Facebook Marketplace, and I'm gonna tell you that story. Well, the pandemic hit and I got laid off from my full-time job. So I started collecting unemployment. When I was getting my unemployment at the time, the government had been giving people the extra $600. So I figured I'm going to save it and I'm going to make it like, you know, I'm going to put my money towards something useful. I really wanted to splurge on myself, like trust, I really did. But I knew that the money really needed to go to something like important. I realized like I really need a car. So that's what I got. So I was looking for cars for a minute, probably for about a month or so. I didn't want to be too picky, but I didn't want to be like so quick to just get something. And I basically gave myself like criteria, like cars, if it didn't meet a certain criteria, it wasn't even going to be an option. So the first thing was that I didn't want it to be super old. I didn't want it to be anything older than 10 years. So it had to be 2010 or newer. My budget was $4,500 because after the $4,500, you still got to pay for your plates, the title change, stickers, and things like that. So it was just like, nah, like $4,500, that's good. That's my max. I wanted it to be one color. Like I had seen some cars where it was like, it might have a different door color, it might have a different hood color. And of course you can get like it painted and stuff, but that's not what I wanted. I wanted a car that was going to be one color. And not only did it have to be one color on the outside, but also had to be one color on the inside. I've seen some cars where they'll have like, you know, like the driver's seat and the passenger seat, and like the passenger seat, like the actual seat was like a different color. Like it just didn't look right. I wanted the car to have a clean title. I didn't want nothing rebuilt. I didn't want nothing salvaged. Like, no, I wanted a very clean title. If it didn't have a clean title and it had everything else, no, I didn't want it. I wanted it to have no more than 2 owners, because I feel like when a car has so many owners, like people start to kind of lose the history of the car. They don't know what the car has been through or anything like that. And with that, I didn't want it to be from a car flipper. Like some people like to buy cars, fix it up a little bit and sell it. And I was just like, nah, I want it to be from the actual car owner. So that was a big thing. And to go along with how old the car was, determine how much the mileage I was willing to deal with. So if the car was going to be a 2010, it could have no more than 150,000 miles. But my preference would have been if it had no more than 130,000 miles. So apparently, when I was researching like mileage for cars, on average, people drive 13 to 15,000 miles. I'm like, okay, well, I don't want it to be more than 15,000 if that's the average. So this car, fortunately, was about 121,000, which is still under the 130,000 mileage that I really wanted. So I was really happy about that. You know, I just wanted something that was going to be like a foreign kind of car. I didn't want anything American like a Ford or a Chevrolet, because I just heard some things like usually American cars aren't the best kind of car to get, and like foreign cars are usually better. So I wanted to get something that was foreign, and I got a Nissan. So, and I think that's Japanese. So that worked out pretty well. I wanted a sedan. I did not want an SUV. I do want an SUV when I get older, but right now I just want a sedan. Didn't want a coupe. I needed it to have 4 doors because, you know, some coupes are really cute, but it's like, I don't want to be getting out my car, letting the seat down so somebody can get in the back. That's just too much. Like, I just want them to be able to have their own door, and let's let that be that. Wanted it to be an automatic because I don't know how to drive a stick. My dad eventually wants to teach me how to drive a stick shift, but it's like, I'm okay right now. Like, I'm cool because for real, I don't even have my license yet, and we'll get into that. But so I wanted it to be an automatic, and I wanted it to have like just regular like gasoline, like nothing diesel or be a hybrid kind of car. I'm like, that's just too much. Let's just get like a regular car that has regular gas, and let's just let that be that, okay? And then I wanted my car to like look clean. Of course, if it's going to be a used car, especially if it's a little older like mine's a 2010, like I said, I wanted it to at least be like decent, like at least an 8 out of 10. And of course, there are some things that are a little bit less desirable on Lisa. Like there's a cigarette hole. At least that's what I'm assuming, because it looks like a cigarette hole on the driver's seat. There's a couple of scratches on the side by the, like right on the door. But for the most part, she's good. I mean, I was going to get seat covers anyway. Like a lot of the things I was just kind of going to cover up regardless. But for the most part, she's like, I feel like an 8 out of 10. So like I said, so this is her little steering wheel and stuff. And you know, y'all know what all this stuff is. I ain't even gotta tell you what it is. Don't be mad at like how my floor mats look. Of course, she still needs to be cleaned. That's my snow brush in the back. As you can see, like she dirty, but like for the most part, it's not things that can't be fixed, can't be vacuumed up, can't be shampooed or whatever. It's not like I have one of these all over. This is what I don't like, but this is what I don't like. That's what's really like driving me insane. But yeah, for the most part, she good. Y'all, so I literally had to get out the car and go do something, and then now I'm back in the car trying to finish the video. So I was going to tell you guys the story of how I actually came to get this car. So I saw this Kia one day. I think it was a 2013 Kia. It was so cute. I think it was a Kia Rio LX. I think that's what it was called. And I thought it was the cutest little car. I was like, that's the car I want. I'm cool with that. But me and this guy set up a date where me, my dad, and my boyfriend could come out and see the car. Now, because I don't have a license, of course, if I really like the car, somebody's gonna have to drive the car back. The day comes to where I'm supposed to go check out the car, and the guy contacts me like maybe 2 hours before I'm supposed to go out there. I don't even think it was 2 hours. I think it was like an hour and a half before I was supposed to be out there. And he's like, yeah, so I got this offer on the car. Now, the car was originally $4,100, which was still under my budget. But then he's like, this guy's counter offering for $4,200. Can you match that? And I was like, let me ask my dad. Because I'm thinking like, for real, once my mind is set on something, like it's kind of set. Like I don't really want to go up on a price. I'm cool with going down, but I'm not really trying to go up. So I hit up my dad, and he's just like, forget that car. Like, nah, like, you good. It's not even, no. I was pissed. I'm like, oh my God, I really wanted this car. I was just so frustrated because I'm like, this is what I wanted. Like, I just want to get a car and just be done with it. I'm tired of holding on to this money. Like, it's not necessarily hard to hold on to money, but it's hard knowing that you have money for something and like, you just can't, like, you can't get what you set it out for. So I'm literally like on Facebook Marketplace, like just looking at more cars and stuff like that. Like, I was just like, whatever, I'm just gonna keep on looking, because honestly, I had been checking Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, like, just like different used car places. So I saw this car that had literally just been posted the same day, probably like an hour before I had reached out. And it was this car, my 2010 Nissan. And the guy is just, he's telling me all about the car. And, I don't think this car's been in any accidents. And I was just super, super, super excited for it. So he was like, oh, I have availability to show you to you today. And I was like, okay. Now, what I will say is, when you first get a car, check the VIN number on that car if it's a used car, because people can lie to you and you won't even know. So I didn't use CarFax because it was too expensive. I used AutoCheck. So you get the VIN number, you put the VIN number in, and then it'll check like how many owners the car has had, when, like, what the odometer last time it was reported, if it's been any accidents, if there are any liens on it, like just different things about the car. So the car checked out, it was great. Me and my dad, my boyfriend, went to go see it, and I loved this so much. Now the crazy thing is, it was already kind of late at night, so the DMV was already closed. So me and my dad came back the next morning. We just Ubered out, and we all went to the DMV, me and my dad and the guy. So the guy didn't have the title. It was still, I think, like processing to come to a different address or something like that, whatever it was. I don't know. Him and my dad talked about it. The DMV was like, oh yeah, so we can't process it back into her name because it's still processing to you, or whatever it was. And like, that was that. Like, we just had to wait. And they said, okay, well, it should be there by the end of August. I think they said like August 29th or something. It was probably like, it was right around like August 15th, August 20th. We go to the currency exchange, we write up like a little contract thing, have it notarized, and I pay the guy the money. So the car was actually like $3,300, but my dad had talked him down to $3,100, which was perfect. I was so happy. So he would have the money, but I would have his plates because the car can't sit outside with no plates. Like, that's, I guess, illegal, and I'll get tickets and stuff. So, or somebody will get tickets. I don't know how that works. Maybe they'll repossess. I don't know. I just know that a car can't sit too long without plates. The guy was going to contact us when the title came in, and then we would all meet up. We would exchange the plates and the title. Now, the guy, I'm not going to say he was apprehensive about giving us the car without without switching over the title, but he was a little bit more he was still a little nervous about it, because he had the situation happen to him before where he gave somebody the car, they had did all this stuff. I don't think they had like the little the notary contract or anything, but the people actually started driving his car and they started racking up tickets. I think he said he had like $1,100 or $1,200 worth of tickets. I was like, ooh. But he said me and my dad seem like trustworthy people. Like, it looks like we look like the people who you can trust with your car. Like, we're not finna go and drive your car and get you tickets. So in September, like the end of September, we met up with the guy on September 29th. So 2 days after my 24th birthday. And we exchanged everything. I got my plates, all that. I got the title. The guy got his plates. Everything was cool. The car literally sat here, and the only time it was moved is if like there was street cleaning and my dad had to just move it like right across the street and then move it back or something like that. But it literally didn't go off the block. It didn't really go much. It ain't go nowhere. So yeah, so I've basically been practicing driving. I've been on expressways, on the streets and things like that. It does kind of suck not having my license at this age. I mean, honestly, I live in a city where it's not that big of a deal, But I just feel like as an adult, like I just need my license. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the story of the car. So originally my dad wanted me to get my license right before Thanksgiving, because he was on vacation for a minute, probably like 3 weeks. And he wanted me to get my license right before Thanksgiving because that's when he was going to go back to work. But then the DMV was like, yeah, we're going to close. And I'm like, oh, okay. Mind you, I don't necessarily feel 100% ready, but maybe that's just like my nerves. And the DMV was like, we're not going to open until December 7th. Well, on December 5th, the DMV said, yeah, we're actually going to extend that to January 5th. And I'm like, as much time as that gives me more time to practice, but it's like, I got offered a job that's not in my city, and I really don't want to take public transportation there, and I don't want to take Ubers there. Like, I would like to drive there legally. But thankfully, I found 2 DMV locations in my city that will allow me to get my license. So I'm not going to say like, oh, I'm going to just go and get it tomorrow or anything. I'm basically going to go try to get it probably within like the next 2 weeks or something like that. I've been studying the rules of the road. I have the app on my phone and whatnot. So I'm probably going to try to do that because, like I said, those 2 locations are open for first time drivers. So, and that would be nice because then I can get insurance on my car, and I'll be all set. I can really, really practice. I can really be out here on these streets, and I can start driving and stop wasting money. Granted, I really don't go anywhere, but at least now if I want to go somewhere, I don't have to worry about waiting for an Uber service to go down. But yeah, so guys, this is the story of my car. I love her so much. My dad is looking at me like, what is she doing in her car? I hope he don't think I'm about to be going nowhere. He looking at me like I'm crazy. But okay, bye guys. Hey Dad. All right, y'all. Well, my dad just left, but I already moved my phone location because he doesn't really know I'm doing YouTube. And I don't know. I just feel like I don't really want my parents to know just yet. Even though I'm an adult, I just feel like, I just want to keep that to myself for a little while. But, yeah, so that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I hope anybody who's trying to get their own car, whether you're 16, 20, 24, 30, everything is a process, and everybody's timing is different. Not everybody's going to go at the same pace. If we all went at the same pace, the world would just be boring. Like, everybody has their own timing. So that's my story. Also, you should go on and hit that little subscribe button, hit that like button, and we'll be back for another video.